بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه من والاه. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome to the Fiqh class. Today, inshallah, we will discuss a very important issue in Fiqh. After we finished the matters of wudu, the issues that we discussed in wudu, now we're discussing the water, the tool that we use to perform wudu. And we will start with the kinds of water that are used. And now this is the question. Why didn't we start with the water first? Now you have to have logic and specific sequence in the order of the matters that you discuss in fiqh. We discussed wudu, but you do wudu with water. So if you did not know the rulings of water, you will not know what are you doing in wudu. So shouldn't this be at the beginning? That's my question. Not necessarily. Last year, what did we study first? The first thing we studied? Wudu or water? No, it was water. And here is the proof. This is the book. And you open it, the first thing you find here, once you start, purity in water, water by which it is permitted to purify impurity. That's what you need to know first. So why then the author did not start with that? Again, why this is important? Because you will find some people coming and criticizing the fuqaha, that they work by their desires. Or they are confused, we don't know what to do. There is a reason for everything. And starting with wudu is not wrong. Maybe to you is not preferred, but that does not mean it is wrong. It is also permissible and maybe recommended to some. Other scholars, they did not even start with that. They started with the book of prayer, Kitab al-Mawaqit, the timings of prayer. Because remember the issue that we discussed, wudu, purification does not become mandatory unless the prayer is mandatory. So every scholar has a reason why they start. What are these kinds of water? First of all, we need to know the agreement. Jurists agreed that all kinds of water are pure in themselves, purifying other things. That's their agreement. All kinds of water are pure in themselves. By essence, by default, they are pure. Do we have multiple kinds of water or it is one kind? What do they mean by all kinds?
Seawater.
Yes. How many types of water do we have? Seawater, river water.
Water that you collect from.
How many types? See, that's the problem when you don't know the numbers. Last year we studied them and we said لها مياه سبعة وهي المطر والماء من بحر وبئر ونهر. سبعة, 7. كذاك من عين وثلج وبرد ثم المياه وأيضا 4 تعد. So it is 7 types. But it doesn't matter to know all of them. At least you know any kind of water that is pure water, it is pure, purifying and pure by itself. This is the first thing that they agreed on. The jurists also agreed about things that alter the water and that are normally found in it, do not usurp its purification and the quality of purifying. Okay, let me ask you this to understand. Rain came. Can you use the rainwater in purification? Yes or no? Why? It says in the Quran what? وَنَزَّلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً. There is an ayah. There is more than 6,000 ayahs. So which ayah you're talking about? You need to know. That's true. Okay, so rainwater by default is what? Pure. The rainwater came and came on solid substance, like the wood. There was a pond of wood, and this is the water. Can you use it? Pond of the rainwater. in a container of wood substance. Why yes? Pure, and it did not mix with anything. It is wood. What if the rain came and there was a flood? Because it's too much rain. With this flood, what happened to that rainwater? It became dark a little bit. Why it is dark? Because it was mixed with what? With the dirt of the earth, right? What's the ruling on that water?
Only dirt?
Yeah.
It's only then after the earth is pure.
Hmm.
So therefore the
Pure. Yes. The color changed because the flood, right? It is impure. Why? Well, you have to be careful when you use the terms. Even if the color changed, that does not make it impure, but that takes out the quality of purifying. Because even the tea, is the tea pure or impure? Pure. You don't say impure. Okay. So what about the flood? It's pure, but so it's not purifying. That's not what it says here. The jurists agreed about things that alter the water. What does it mean, alter? It changed one of the characteristics, and that are normally found in it. Normally with the flood, what do you find? Dirt. Normally, the rainwater, does it change or not? When it comes heavy. It does. Do not usurp its purification. They agreed. So this is a matter of agreement. Why they agreed? Why not even we have a dispute here? Because simply it is almost impossible. It is almost impossible to take out these added things. Another example. When you open the sink, what's the color of the water? It's colorless, right? What if you open the sink and the water was brown, little bit, brownish? Where do you find this? Here maybe you don't find it because the pipes that we use are almost good quality. And the temperature is moderate. But in very hot countries, you will find this. Can you use that water? The color is changed. It is little bit brown. They say yes. Because again, if we say no, what kind of water can you use? You cannot. That's the water that's there. So they all agreed that the water is purifying, pure and purifying, as long as these things that altered the water is usually found in it. You cannot change it. The same thing with the water that is mixed with the leaves of the trees. Now, the color will be a little bit changed. Instead of being muddy, it will be what? Green, little bit. It is also purifying. Why? Because that's normal as well.
And then these things are not impure by nature.
Yes, yes, these things are not impure. We're coming. We're coming. Now, we will discuss the issues that scholars disputed or argued about them. After we finish the agreements, now we will see the issues that scholars differed. First issue is the water mixed with impurities. Water which is mixed with impurities. Scholars disagreed about it. If there is impurity, however, neither of its attribute is altered. What are the attributes of water?
It's colorless.
3 attributes: color, taste, and smell. These are the attributes of water. You saw impurity. in this water, but you look at the color, it's the same color of regular water. You smell it, there is no smell, and you taste it, it tastes just like the regular water. What's the ruling here? But you saw there is impurity. You saw a boy came and urinated. What do you say? Impure. A boy came and he urinated in the Gulf of Mexico. The entire Gulf of Mexico becomes impure, right? I'm asking, that's my question, and you said impure, so you have to be specific. Okay. A river. He urinated in a river. Fine. What?
There's more water there. The water still, the other water will wash it out.
Will wash it out. Okay.
Just like the Gulf.
Just like the Gulf. You saw a dead animal, a dead rat. How big is the rat? Small. And it was dead in a well. So it depends or what? Or it is impure or it is pure or what? It depends how much water it is. How much it is. Let's see what the scholars said. We have opinion for al-Zahiriyya. They said as long as neither of the attributes is changed, then what? It is pure. Regardless of the amount of water, regardless of the amount of impurity. It is also a narration from Imam Malik. And that's the opinion of Imam Ahmad also. Rahimahullah. Some scholars differed between what is few and what is a lot. If the water is few, then it is impure. And if it's a lot, then it is what? Pure. Now remember, we're discussing one case. There are impurities, but neither one of the attributes of water changed. Okay? Neither one of the attributes changed. First opinion, it is still pure, as long as the taste did not change, the color, or the smell. The second opinion said no, even if the color did not change, or the taste, or the smell. If an impurity was there, it becomes impure, as long as it is few. So what is a few? What's the limit? We have two opinions. The opinion of Imam Malik and the Shafi'i rahimahullah, they say that few is equal to 50 gallons, approximately 50 gallons, or 500 pounds. والقلتان نصف ألف قربا برطل بغداد الذي قد جربا. 50 gallons. If it's less than 50 gallons, what did they say? Any impurity that was there, what happens? Can you use this water in purification? No. If it's over 50 gallons, you can. As long as what? As long as what? The color, the smell, the taste did not change. The second opinion of what is few is the opinion of Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah. Abu Hanifa rahimahullah said what is few is the amount of water, if you changed or riddled the beginning of it, one side of it, that wave will move to the end of it. So you have a swimming pool. You dropped a ball in the front of the swimming pool. That ball, when you dipped the ball, there was a circle, right? Around the ball. That circle, did it move all the way to the end? If that pool is big, it will not move. So this is a lot. Or if you touched with your finger, if you touched, try to shake the water. If it moved all the way until the end, the other side, then this water is few. So you cannot use it. If it did not move all the way to the end, it moved to some extent and then it stopped, vanished, then that water is a lot. See, according to Abu Hanifa, is there exact limit for what is few and what is a lot? No, but there is a condition. Whatever is moved from other side and reached the other side. To Malik and the Shafi'i, there is a limit. What is it? 50 gallons. So which opinion do you think is stronger? Now we have how many opinions? Three opinions. Online. So which one do you think is stronger? Which one do you think is stronger? And before that, what's the reason of the disagreement here? Why they differed? It is important to know the reason of disagreement. There is conflicting evidences, narrations. So some scholars try to reconcile, and some scholars try to take and overweigh some evidences over the others. Examples. The Prophet ﷺ said, you should not urinate in stagnant water and then make ghusl. What does that mean? If you urinate in the stagnant water, is it gonna affect it or not? It is. When you wake up, the Prophet ﷺ said, before you put your hands in the water container, what should you do? Wash them. Why? What does this hadith imply? You understand that the impurity from your hand will make the water impure. How much impurity can you carry in your hands? Especially if you don't see.
As far as you're concerned,
None, or just minimal. You cannot even see it. But what will happen to the container? It will be impure. So what do you learn from this? The small impurity will change the small water, regardless of the color, the taste, or the smell. What does that mean? This supports the first or the second opinion? The second. The first said it doesn't matter. As long as the water is not changed, is not altered, it is pure. Another hadith. You all know the hadith of the Bedouin. Do you know the hadith of the Bedouin? When he came to the masjid and he what? Urinated. The masjid should be pure or impure? Pure. But he urinated. The urine is impure. What did the Prophet ﷺ do to purify that spot? He poured more water. What do you learn from this? More water than the urine purifies what? That place. This is an evidence for the first or the second opinion. Second or the first? Second or first? It's very important to understand how scholars derive from the evidence a supporting thing to their opinion. It's very important. Now you have the evidence and you have the opinions, but you are unable to say whether it is supporting the first or the second opinion. The hadith of the Bedouin supports the first opinion clearly, because the Prophet ﷺ did not specify 50 gallons. As long as the urine was changed and there was no color of it anymore, that's it, regardless of the amount. We learn from this that more water purifies the urine. There was najasa, there was impurity. But because the purity was poured more, it became pure. So which opinion is stronger? The first or the second, regardless of the details? Opinion of Malik, Shafi'i, and Abu Hanifa. What about also the second opinion? Why they specified 50 gallons? Because there is a hadith says, the Prophet ﷺ said, when water reaches 50 gallons, it won't carry impurity. إذا بلغ الماء القلتين لم يحمل الخبث. It won't carry impurity. That means if it was less than 50, does it carry impurity? It does. Now remember, we're talking about a case where there is no alteration here. It did not change the color, the taste, or the smell. But that hadith, many scholars talked about it. Some of them said this hadith is muttarib, means it is not authentic. Although the chain is authentic, but the hadith itself is not accepted. According to Imam Malik, rahimahullah, Imam Shafi'i, they said this hadith is what? Authentic. According to this opinion of Malik and Shafi'i, if one drop of urine was in 49.5 gallons of water, can you use this water? No. If a bottle of urine was dropped in 50 gallons and half, can you use that water? Yes. Although the color did not change, but you saw with your eyes that a full bottle. So what do you think? Is that a strong opinion or not?
You said that the method is wrong, but the chain is authentic?
Yes. The matan is muttarib because it came from different wordings. And this is possible. We talked about this in hadith terminology last year. We talked about this extensively, about hadith al-muttarib, when it comes from different riwayat contradicting each other. So what do you think? Which opinion is stronger? Both opinions. One drop of urine. You know how many 50 gallons are? A lot. Yet one drop contaminates that entire water. And a bottle does not affect only a little bit more than this 50. Yeah, he did not specify. So what do you think? Which opinion is stronger? The first opinion is much stronger. And it's easier. As long as the taste is the same taste as water, as long as the color. Now what about the taste? Is the taste of the seawater the same as the taste of the fresh water? Of course not. But still, that's the taste of the seawater. So that's the default. And again, that's why from the beginning we said as long as it is usually found there. Usually when you taste the seawater, it is salty. That's the nature of it. So this is the first issue. The second issue, water mixed with saffron and clean things. You know the saffron, za'faran. Yeah. Powder or small strings, like you can take them. Or tea. All scholars agreed that it is what? Pure. But it loses what? The power of purifying. Which means it is not impure. Now you need to understand, there is difference between saying pure and purifying. and impure. If we say impure and it falls on your hand, what you should do? You should purify it. If we say it is pure but it's not purifying, there's no problem. You don't have to clean it. Just like the coffee. Is the coffee pure or impure or purifying? Pure, but not purifying. So all scholars agreed that it is pure, but it loses the power to purify, except for Abu Hanifa rahimahullah. What did he say? He said it is purifying. It is purifying. Why they differed? Now, what's the name of that water that is mixed with saffron? Or, you know the water that has a smell of, has a taste of rose?
Rose water.
Rose water. So is it water or it is not?
We don't call it water, we call it rose water.
Exactly. So it is not the pure, the default water. That's what the scholars said. It's not water. It is liquid, yes, but it's not water. So which opinion is stronger? Can you make wudu with Diet Coke? With Sprite? With rose water? Can you make wudu with it?
Well, let's hear the evidence of Abu Hanifa.
Hmm?
Let's hear his evidence. What's his evidence that says it's pure?
What's your evidence that it's not? Allah says that the water is purifying.
It's not water. It's definition of change.
That's the thing. He says, no, it is water.
I would do it.
It is water. But we added things. So something is added. This is the water. We added something to it. That does not change it. Because remember, what's the difference between this issue and the previous issue? Here, it's not mixed with impure things. It is mixed with pure things. Give me an evidence that the Prophet ﷺ forced the people to change the water if pure things were mixed with it. So what do you think, the first or the second?
Almost all the attributes of water, almost all three of them have been changed. And that's why we don't call it that anymore. The taste is different, the coffee is different,
Yeah.
the smell is different.
Yes, so it is not water.
And then it was mixed for a specific purpose.
And the percentage of the additive is higher than the water.
Okay. The third issue. Water already used for purification. You came to perform wudu. So you poured the water, and underneath there is a pot collecting that water that you used for purification, for wudu. Someone came next. Can he use that water? Yes or no? They used to collect the water. You read the book? Are you the Prophet ﷺ? No, you're not. Did they used to collect the water of Abu Bakr or Umar? So?
You could. In general, you can.
You can.
That's my rule. That's my rule.
Even if it was a woman?
Yep. Yep.
Because, yeah, while
With the impurities,
you're washing,
You're not washing away impurities.
you are washing what?
there might be some sort of impurity.
There might be, but you don't know. There might be sweat, right? Or some dirt, or can you use this water?
In general, you can.
We have three opinions. First opinion, you cannot. Second opinion, it is makruh. You can, but it is makruh. Third opinion is, it is permissible. What's the reason? Again, the same reason of disagreement with the previous issue. Is it still called water or something else? No one said it is impure. No one. Why? Because we are not discussing impure things. If there was impurity, that's a different story. It is just used for purification. So it's changed. Just like we said rose water, this is called what? Bath water. It's changed. So the opinion of the author, he inclines towards which opinion? Permitted. The last opinion. Yes, we say it is not desired, but does it become like not permitted? There is no evidence. There is no evidence. Next issue. The leftover. What do we mean by the leftover? The same water, you have 2 gallons of water. You took from this water half gallon. How much is left? 1.5 gallon. These 1.5 are left over from the 2 gallons. Can someone come and use them? Yes? In general, they agreed that it is pure. So it does not become what? Impure. They agreed about that. But they differed if it was the leftover of animal. What if it's a cat or mouse? Came and drank from that water and left. If it's pure animal. What's the definition of pure animal? Yes. Any animal you're allowed to eat. So it depends on what? The meat. What about the Maliki school of thought, who said you can eat the meat of the dog? Oh yeah, there is an opinion, famous opinion, that you can eat what is impure is the tongue, not the meat. What do you think? What about cats? Some said it depends on the meat of the animal. If it's permissible to eat, then what? You can use. If it's not, then you cannot. Some said all animals left over is permissible and pure, except the pig. Because the pig is najis. Another opinion said except the pig and the dog. So which opinion you go with? Except pig and the dog. What did the Prophet ﷺ command the people who have a dish or plate that the dog came and licked from it? Wash it 7 times. Can you use that water? No. So what do you learn from this? The water becomes impure. They came and said, no, it doesn't become impure. Because if the pig came, how many times do you have to wash it? Is there 7 times here? No. So the issue is not purity or impurity. The issue is to submit to the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If there was a dead animal in that water, do you have to wash it 7 times? It doesn't matter how many times. You wash it, right? So the specification in the matter of the dog is not about purity or impurity then. So which one do you think is stronger? First, second, or third opinion? And why? That's what's important. You need to know why. What's the evidence for each opinion? You say this is stronger. Why? Now, as we said, this is in general. We mean like a woman came and drank from that water. What is left is what? Pure or impure? Pure. What if a woman took that water and used it for bathing or wudu? Now we're not talking about the previous issue, the drops of the water, the left over, the water that is left. So water that is left from ritual purification. After using half gallon, we have 1.5 gallons left. It is pure. The majority of scholars agreed that it is pure, purifying. Some scholars said no, it depends. The woman cannot use the leftover of the man. There is a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ forbade using the leftover from ritual purification of a woman. But she can use the leftover from the man. The opinion of Imam Ahmad that you cannot use the leftover, but you can use it both together if it's a man and a woman. So a man from a man, you can use the leftover. A woman from a woman, you can use. But if it's a man or a woman, you have to take it together. So if you are a husband and wife, your wife came to 2 gallons of water, she used half of it, she left 1.5, you cannot use that, according to the second and the third opinion. But the majority, of course, said what? Which one is stronger? The first one. The Prophet ﷺ used to bathe with Aisha radiallahu anha, both of them taking together. But the third opinion said because they used to take together. But it's almost impossible that every time they take at the same exact time. Right? So again, there is no evidence to forbid it. So it should be permissible. Ablution with nabidh. What's the meaning of nabidh? Do you know what's the meaning of nabidh? When you put dates in water and you remove the dates, so it's basically a juice. And if you leave it for a long time, it becomes what? Alcoholic. That's what's the meaning of nabidh. When you leave, be it grape, be it date, that's the meaning of nabidh. So can you use this kind of water? All scholars agreed that you cannot. Because it is similar to what? Saffron. But actually it is more here. It is just like juice. Except for Abu Hanifa rahimahullah. Only Abu Hanifa. Even his students disagreed with him. He allowed it in terms of traveling. If you're traveling and you have only nabidh, you can use it. Why? There is an evidence. The hadith of Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam used the nabidh to perform wudu when he was coming back from the trip when he met with the jinn. You know, the trip of At-Ta'if. He was with Ibn Mas'ud and he asked Ibn Mas'ud, what do we have for wudu? And he said, that's all what we have. So he used it. But there are 2 problems in this hadith. First, it is weak. Second, it contradicts the facts. Because Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, he was not with the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam in that trip. Who was with him? Zayd ibn Haritha. Ibn Mas'ud was not with him. So which opinion is stronger? The first one. Okay. So these are the issues of the water purification. Is there any questions so far? Okay, then that concludes the session. هذا وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.